So, Carmen, welcome to The Unmaking. Where are we parked and what's the significance of this place to you?
We're parked in a new property that we've just purchased in the last 6 months, which is really my dream property. We arrived here and there was 3 massive sheds, 650 square metres of garaging, so really what we need when we have collect cars, and we were looking for somewhere for a showroom for the business, and this was just made for us. It was perfect. It's a property really close to Queenstown, but it's like being in the middle of nowhere, and that's why I love it, the privacy of it. We have 360-degree views. We can see Coronet Peak, we can see the Remarkables. We've got beautiful rugged mountains with wild goats and too many rabbits, but yeah, it's just so beautiful. I just love the peacefulness of it, with it being so close to Queenstown and Arrowtown, that I'm in this little beautiful pocket, but right beside the action as well. Yeah.
So Queenstown's got a terrible reputation for traffic and people losing a lot of time in traffic. How long does your morning commute take you now to get from when you walk out the door of your home to when you walk into the door of your studio?
Well, it takes about 1 minute, and it's the most amazing thing for my mental health and everything around my life. It has just made a huge difference to my life. I didn't realise how much difference not getting in the traffic and rushing to get to work on time and all that sort of thing. The change is just huge. So I walk out the door and I stroll down, and a couple of times I've been late and I've said to the staff, the traffic was terrible, and they want to beat me up, which is it's really lovely, really calming. Yeah.
Pretty special.
It is.
Is that the first time that you've been able to combine home and office and home, that work-life balance, or sort of really bring it together in such a way?
No, I had a studio where I worked from home in Walnut Grove, which is Lake Hayes Estate, which is close to Queenstown as well, and it was about an acre property, and that was really wonderful, working from home there. But as things happen and things change, we sold that property, and I've been looking for something like that really ever since, somewhere to operate from that was a lovely space but not a retail shop. So I wanted to have a boutique, a place where it wasn't easy to find, people look for it, when people come there it's a surprise. So it's so really amazing to find this place.
And how's it been since you've moved, like in terms of having people come out here, visit, things like that? What's the initial, is it 6 months now that you've been back on?
Yeah, roughly? Nearly 6 months, and we don't have a lot of people come to the space, unless they're making an appointment or invited, but yeah, everyone that's come in just goes, wow. They just love it. They walk in the door and they actually say wow, which is really heartwarming for me. It's amazing.
So we're not that far from where you were born. I think it was Invercargill girl.
Invercargill, yeah.
What was that like? I think you're a bit of a rebel. I think I've read somewhere that you describe yourself as that sort of the secondary school phase.
Well, probably right from the start. I've never been afraid to say what I think. Which in those days I was at a private school till I was 12, and you didn't speak, so it never went well for me. But yeah, I think times have changed so much, but and people were encouraged to talk more now, which is so good. But yeah, I was a bit of a rebel. School wasn't really for me. I was good at school, but I was bored. So, and I think that could be a lot to do with having the influence of being more creative. Paperwork and exams weren't really what I was about.
Was it across all subjects, or were there subjects that you were, I'm really good at these subjects, but these other ones is really not a...
Well, I really wanted to be a PE teacher when I was at school, actually. I really loved sport, and I did every sport. but then you had to do biology and more schoolwork, so I thought, I won't be a PE teacher. So yeah, and I just moved on to, really, it wasn't long before I started doing what I'm doing now. I did fashion, worked in fashion for a wee while, and office furniture and stationery, and then it just evolved into doing curtains and carpet and furniture, which has evolved into doing full interiors and kitchens and bathrooms. So, yeah.
And the start then in that business, that came through your uncle, is that right, up in Christchurch?
That's right. My uncle had Hubber's Furnishings, which is a company that went for about 60 years. And I worked for him. He was like a second dad. He was an amazing man. And actually him and my dad used to lay carpet and vinyl when they were like 14 or 15 years old when they left home. And it has been a family thing. So it was wonderful working for him. He was such a good man. And then decided I wanted to leave Christchurch, because I went to Christchurch for a few years, and come to Queenstown. So that was a big change.
In the time with your uncle then, was that doing the practical stuff? Was that more consulting and measuring, or was it actually then installation and really, ordering, the sort of whole 9 yards? Everything.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of hands-on experience. So I've hung curtains myself, and I think that's a great way to do anything, is to actually know all the bits. And and I enjoy doing all the different parts of the job as well. I love getting a screwdriver and a hammer and, helping. It's enjoyable to do all different things. I get bored very easily. I don't know. This is the one job that I've done that I don't get bored, because I'm constantly learning and constantly looking for new things, and that's what I love about it, because it changes. Things change all the time. My very worst period when I thought I might leave the industry is when we had 10 years of grey. There was that. Yes. I thought I can't cope anymore, and the last few years have been amazing. People are using colour and pattern again, which I love, but I love it in a natural sense and a classic sense, not in a garish sense. So yeah, I
met some people last year, and their whole thing was black and white, that at some point that they decided we're going to be all about black and white. And I sort of thought, that's sort of, you lean into it, but this was exclusive. Like there was nothing, there was no other colour in their entire wardrobe that wasn't either black or white or a combination of the two. The cars, the shoes, the interior, everything was black and white. Like in terms of,
I think that would make me cry.
Yeah.
But I think if somebody wanted black and white, I think it could be done really well, but you'd have to be working with someone like me to do it, to be right, because it would have to have layers of texture and different surfaces and things to make it amazing. Yeah. So it could be amazing, but it would be very difficult to do as well.
It was amazing, but almost in a kind of a sensory deprivation kind of way, because you're aware of almost something missing.
Yes.
When you're being in there, and it's very impressive because it is also uniform, and so it does feel very art directed, everything that you're looking at and seeing.
I just have to throw something in
there. Yes, like a banana sort of coloured cushion or something or other in there. But And what did you learn about clients at that point then, working with your uncle? That would have been, I'm guessing, your first exposure to clients in that sort of situation, and what they're looking for. And often when it comes to interior design, what they're actually buying might not actually be what they're really buying or what they're actually doing. Did that take a while to sort of figure out people's motivations and what they were doing, or was your uncle able to fast track that process for you?
I think that comes a lot with age and experience, learning psychology of people. A lot of people know what they want, they don't know how to put it together, and what we're doing is trying to pull out of somebody their dreams and their visions, and then give them something that they actually couldn't think of, and something beyond what they want. But I think, is that what you mean? Maybe? Yeah. But yeah, I think I've become, I've learnt so much about people. I've been a marriage counsellor many times, and when I've gone to people's houses, because everyone's different and everyone has a different idea, and to pull it together is sometimes very difficult, but it's a challenge, and that's what I actually love, is actually trying to make two people happy, or three people, or a family, and the dog, somewhere for the dog. There's so many aspects in a home, how it's used and how people live. It's giving them somewhere that's their sanctuary, that suits them in their life. And that's a lot of it is to do with psychology, a lot of it.
And the marriage counselling thing, I can for sure see that. Like, I mean, IKEA's just arrived here in New Zealand, but I mean, going to a big IKEA store in Germany, and on a Saturday, and going particularly the kitchen department, and the body language of the couples that were going through kitchen purchasing decisions there in public, and you could just see who had their arms folded and who had the sort of it was really not a great place to be.
And that's nothing, because wait till they get home and try and put it together.
Yes,
that's the bit you didn't see.
Yeah, and particularly the people that are saying, yeah, I can do that. It won't be won't be easy, and I'll get it up by the end of the week, and then it doesn't quite work out.
No.
So, yeah, and so in terms of the marriage counselling side of things with the clients here, is that around traditional roles in terms of who's perhaps happy and wants to proceed, and who's pushing back and saying no, this is, and is that then, is it financial pushback mainly, or is it more around the questions of taste and combining two people's tastes? Or
and traditionally the women were in the kitchen, and that is not the case at all anymore. So many homes, the mother may be working full time, and the man might be more of a house husband, and a lot more men are cooking, and children are cooking, the whole family are cooking. So you aren't designing a kitchen for one person, you're designing a kitchen for many people and many different styles. We're so international now. There's so many different styles of cooking. We cook Indian, we cook Chinese, we grill, we have we're a lot of barbecuing, outdoor living. So there's so many factors. We don't have as many people that are baking anymore, which is sad because of time. I think with a lot of people are busy. So I've even had clients put in a brand new kitchen that they say they'll never use, and they use the Weber outside, and that's it. They will never use that kitchen, which is amazing. It's very sad, but that's the world has just changed so much, and there's so many different sorts of people and ways they live. It's so diverse now, so diverse.
What's the different, or is there a different things that typically men look for than women when it comes to things like the kitchen? That men are looking for a greater degree of functionality, or is there anything different that you can?
Well, I think so. With some of the clients that we've had, that a man would prefer everything to be on the bench that he can just grab, where a woman does often tend to prefer to have things hidden and tidier. That's just something I've noticed. I'm not saying that it's all men, okay? But that is one thing that I've noticed. But I haven't met a lot of men that are bakers, but a lot of men are in the kitchen cooking, and there's houses that the women don't cook at all, absolutely. So that's what I wish for myself for one day, Jason.
Just to have a kitchen that's just there for display from your perspective.
No, someone that cooks for me.
Yes, yeah. No, perfect. And so you arrived in Queenstown then, so from Christchurch, is that right? You came from, and so this was also from Invercargill up to Christchurch and back to Queenstown.
Yeah, I spent 6 years in Christchurch, and then I come to Queenstown in 1997.
Yep.
So It's many years ago now. It was this beautiful little wee tiny town, and I just loved it, and I still love it. It's grown and changed so much, but I still absolutely love it here. I can't imagine being anywhere else. I just think I live in the most beautiful place in the world.
Well, that's, I mean, how is it, 1.5 hours drive from Invercargill? What's the...
Yeah, 2 hours.
Pretty
2
close.
hours to Invercargill, and my mum's still down there, and a brother still down there, so I still go down there a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice short trip, so...
When you first moved here then, was it like every night's a Saturday night to be in a like a ski resort type town, alpine town, or was it a different thing? No, I'm going here to work and to do things, or was it more about the, you know, you're finally now living in that amazing town that was up the road? That you used
I was
to go
in
and
my
have holiday
20s, and it was a work hard, play hard town, and that was the one thing I loved about Queenstown. You know, you could go out on a Wednesday night and it would be a full-on busy night, and there's always things happening, and there's always events, and you'd have really good bands would come to Queenstown in the week because they wanted to come to Queenstown, and they're playing in a city in the weekend, and that's you know, one of the things I love about the place. It's always got something happening. You can stay at home and have a nice quiet life and do walks, and you know, all the beautiful walks, and skiing. So I'm a skier. I love skiing. You know, look out the window and go, oh, shall I go up the Remarks or shall I go up Coronet? Oh, Coronet looks better today. You know, it's half an hour and you're at the skiing. It's just, we're just lucky. And I ride a motorbike, so we have all these amazing roads for motorbike riding, which, you know, we're surrounded by it. So it's and lake, we've got the boat, we've got rivers. Yeah, the only thing we haven't got is a beach, so we do have to go and get that beach fix.
But that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's that salt water. That's the only thing that's missing. Right?
Yeah, and
everything
blue
else
cod.
Yeah.
Which is only 2 hours up the road.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty good combination. So you initially you were working at McKenzie Willis Interior Design. What was the role there?
So I came down to work at McKenzie Willis, and I was there for 6 years, and I ran the curtains and furniture side of the business here. There was only 2 of us here in a wee office when we started that with McKenzie Willis. Gary, he did the carpet, and I did the other side. So over that 6 years, the business grew hugely. I used to, when I first came, I actually worked there until 5 o'clock. Then I worked at the Britannia, and I waitressed till 10 or 11 o'clock at night as well. Excuse me. So yeah, I was working really, really hard because I wanted to buy a house, and I come to Queenstown when there was a massive recession, so I was very, very lucky. I think I bought one of the cheapest houses in Queenstown at that time, so I was really, really lucky. Yeah,
lucky, but also working.
But
really
I was
hard.
working 14, 16-hour days, absolutely, and I'm not afraid to work hard, and I still work really hard, and I love that. But yeah, so I worked there for 6 years, and then I had my daughter Ruby, and after I had Ruby, I couldn't stand the thought of going back to work full time, so I printed off 200 business cards and walked around town with the pram, and started Carmen Hubber Interior Design at the time. That was what it was called, and got my first job on that first day, an apartment with through a real estate agent in Queenstown, Jeff Toner, and I got a little bar as well, which was a bar in Dunedin, actually, a wee bar job, Pekino. So it was super exciting, and so I just started doing curtains from my garage, and that was where the business started.
So driven by, let me get this right, driven by the concept of having to work full time, that this was, now that you're a parent, you realise, oh, okay, this is not going to work for me, or?
Well, I was still going to be, I was still working full time, but juggling a baby, and I wanted to be with Ruby as much as possible.
Yes.
So the idea was that if I worked from home, I was with her. I could do, and when I needed to go and see a client, I had a lovely lady. She came in and looked after Ruby for a couple of hours while I'd pop out and do a measure, and so I actually got to have that time, with Ruby, and slowly grow the business. So it worked well.
And what was the advice coming in your direction at that point around, in terms of, oh yeah, good on you, Carmen, that's a good idea, you should definitely do that? Or were there a few other people saying, are you mad? What are you doing? You've got a full-time job, or you've got basically a paid job rather than going out on your own? Or what was your support network telling you?
I don't ask anyone anything. I just did it. I might have said something to Dad. But my dad was, he was a real entrepreneur, so he probably inspired me a lot. He had lots of different businesses and was very successful in all of them, and I wasn't scared to try. So I just thought I could. I thought I'd built McKenzie Willis up so I could do it for myself too, and that's what I set out to do. Yeah.
And so then you transitioned then into working for yourself, got off to a great start from that. That very first day, basically, from giving out business cards, you got 2 jobs from that first.
Yeah, and I found just being social and meeting people and being part of Chamber of Commerce and doing networking things is huge for business. You're actually getting out there and meeting people and talking to people. Is how a lot of business is done. Yeah.
Had you experienced anything like that in Invercargill or in Christchurch, or not really? Were you too young at that point to have done that sort of networking, like things like the Chamber of Commerce and getting around it?
I didn't do that in Christchurch. I didn't even know about Chamber of Commerce until I came to Queenstown. I suppose I was only about 24, 25 when I came to Queenstown. So. It's definitely, that networking thing has helped. In the recession, about 2008, around that sort of time, I was part of a BNI, business networking group, and that absolutely got me through that recession. That was so powerful, that group. We would meet every Tuesday morning, and people would give referrals and try and help each other get through that time. And the power of that group was massive. And I was in that group for probably 3.5, 4 years. And it was started by 2 other really successful people in the town at that time, which, it was a great thing.
Was that around the time that you started working with on the Jagged Edge project?
It was actually, and a lot of people went under, a lot of businesses went under at that time. And I started working on this exciting project, Jagged Edge, which was way beyond anything that had been built, and probably still is. It's a huge glass shard that is hanging from a mountain near Moat Lake. Just the most incredible architecture, the most incredible project. It really was amazing. And some of the companies that were a part of that at the beginning, went under at the start of that recession, which was really, really sad. And I was so lucky to be able to stay in that project and see that project through to the end. So I'm really proud of that, and thankful to the owners that come in and still liked me and wanted me to continue with it. It was just an amazing project.
And was that one of the ones that you then got from a sort of cold calling kind of business card to hand out, or through a network, or referrals, or how did you get that?
Yeah, it was a referral. So I think probably 95% of my business has always been referral, which is great. It's good business, and the people like, if they're referred, they feel more comfortable with you as well, which is how I like it. I'm a handshake kind of girl. The change in how with AI, I know we have to embrace it, and I'm embracing some of it, which we have to. It's the way the world is going, but I still long for being down the street, handshake, let's do business. I love that. that's that honest, pure form is what I prefer. Yeah.
And speaking of AI, are you starting to get clients now that are turning up with, oh look, I've done this thing, and giving you something that I've done a bit of
yes,
twiddling
we've designed
around.
this, and can you just quickly draw it up?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not reality, and people are starting to realise, and they will realise. It's great for ideas, and it's great for showing people things, and it's great for writing proposals and things, because I don't like that paperwork side, back to my childhood. So it's great for all those things, and it's got lots of benefits, and I think we are and will use it in the business a lot. But I still love the personable, I like the personable thing. I prefer to deal with a client direct. We do deal with a lot of clients online from overseas, and we can do the whole project through Zoom and things like that, but I still want to see their face, I still want to talk to them, and for it to be real.
Yeah, it's quite different, isn't it? I think when you get to personally and physically meet somebody, you have so much of a better idea for them, and particularly in your work, in terms of, okay, what's going to work for this person. And I'm sure that after a 10-minute conversation in person, you would just have so much more clarity in terms of things that before that conversation you think, oh, maybe this, maybe that.
And the relationships. I've got some of the most amazing friends through my work, clients that we've met, and we've known them for, I've got 3 or 4 clients I've done 7 houses for. It's incredible, and they've become lifetime friends. I love that.
What is it that keeps them coming back, do you think?
They love me. Relationships. They keep coming back. Obviously they're happy with what we've done, and I'm growing and developing and changing all the time as well. One of my mentors in life is David Bowie. Changes. He kept changing. You've got to keep reinventing yourself. You've got to keep up with things. That's the only way to stay in business. If you stay the same, you're not going to ever survive. And that's what I love. I like changing, I like learning. We are learning all the time, which I enjoy, love it.
Has that changed over the course of time, or the period of time that you've been in the industry, when you look back and you think in terms of new stuff to learn, or new topics, or new things that you've got to learn? Is this just been successively increasing, or was it it was a couple of phases? There was a phase sort of early 2000s where there was a lot of new stuff suddenly, and then there didn't seem to be a lot of new things, and then now the last 3 years, or how has that been?
I push myself into learning more and more all the time, because the business has grown so much that we're learning about plumbing, we're learning about electrical, we're learning about building, we're learning about lighting, and technology is changing so quickly that it's constantly, we're learning all the time. And it's great that we actually know quite a lot sometimes before the people that are even doing those jobs, which is really exciting, that we can pass on that knowledge as well and learn from each other. That's part of what I really love.
Do you have a sort of, in terms of being able to be exposed to new things that you need, so you need to be learning what's fresh, what's going on? Where do you go to? Is this like a physical trips that you go somewhere internationally to go and look at a trade show, or what's happening, or is this magazines, or is it websites, social media? What's your, in terms of staying on top of things and always continuing to learn?
I feel like I work so hard I don't have time for magazines and social media very much, which is just how I am. I like to have my time off to ride the motorbike or go on the boat or things like that. We go to trade shows. We have reps coming in to see us every week. We go to Australia and to the design shows they have there. They have the Milan Eurocachina every 2 years now. We'll be going to that next year. but with social media, like you say, Eureka the show, it's in social media a week after, straight away. So you can see new things. Quite often we get shown things before they even get to those shows. We're updated all the time, and we're constantly being updated by the importers, suppliers. So, yeah.
I think you said 2009, 2010 was pretty much the darkest time. What was going on there? Was that recession-led? Was it personal in terms of, this was the period of time that nearly broke me?
Yeah. I think there was, I would say I've lasted 2 recessions, a divorce and COVID, which I think is amazing. I'm proud of that. But in that time, there was a really bad recession, and I went through a divorce. So I'd lost my beautiful home that I'd built, which I thought I'd be in forever, which was a really, really difficult time.
Was that the Lake Hayes property?
Yeah, it was the Lake Hayes property, and we had a lovely studio. And I lost everything. So I lost everything, and I owed about, a lot of money, over nearly $200,000, and I thought it was over. And then I didn't want to be like some of the people that I'd seen around town that had just gone bankrupt and walked away and left people. So I borrowed money and I paid every cent, and I thought, right, now I'm going to move forward and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to pay that money back and carry on with my business. And I did, and I just worked really, really hard, and I never actually knew that I could pay that money back, but I did it really quick. I didn't buy anything for 2 or 3 years, and I changed to my $9 bottles of wine, which after a while they tasted like the $20 bottles, and etc., etc. But it was a really dark time, losing a home, because I'd had a home in Queenstown so early, and I'd done well. So it wasn't just the recession and the business. There was a lot of things that caused to lose the home, and it was very sad. It was a very, very hard time, but those really bad times make you stronger and more resilient and more determined, and I loved it when I felt my spark coming back, and I knew that I could smash this, and I was going to come back, and now here I am sitting at this beautiful property with a waterfall. I've got a waterfall, and I think, pat, and I'm very, very happy, and I've met a beautiful new partner and 2 wonderful children.
Where do you think that came from? That courage, that determination not to take the easy way out. Then at that point, not to declare bankruptcy and just to say, "Oh, hey, look, sorry, creditors. It's you're on your own now. I'm off. I'm going to restart." That's not the sort of default setting that a lot of people have. Is that something that you'd put back to your upbringing, those family values that you had, those own values that you'd developed already? Was it, how much of it was about wanting to be a role model to your kids? It's like, what's the looking back?
So my dad, I think every business has rises and falls and roller coasters, and I'd watched my dad have huge businesses in the 70s with souvenir shops, and then there was a massive crash, and he lost everything, and he started jewellery shops, and I'd watched him be a very successful, resilient person. But I also had an auntie that had a wee mini-mart, and then when the big supermarkets come, her business went under, and she was very close. We were she was like a sister, and when I remember it was about 10 years after her little mini-mart had closed down, she said to me, "I've paid back the last dollar I owed from that business." And I was just so, emotional.
It's pretty special. And to have role models like that within your own family, and I fully get that. And to also that sense of satisfaction and taking a positive from a loss like that to be okay, as shitty as that experience is, but to be able to stand there at the end of it and to be able to pat yourself on your back and say, hey, that's what I did.
Just so proud to not be a person that caused someone else pain. That's what. And I think in Queenstown we've seen it a lot through different recessions and things. Businesses go under, and that's all the little businesses that suffer. And I've watched lots of little businesses go under in Queenstown through different recessions here, and it's been because of a big company. And I just think it's terrible, and I would never ever want to anyone to ever think that I could be like that. So that's with my business. I'm very, very strict and careful and proud to do a good job and always be fair. I think it's so important.
How long was it before you had the feeling, I'm back, I've got through, I've been down to the valley, I've been in the deepest part of the valley, and I'm now starting to climb again? How long did that period take then?
It was a good 10 years it took to feel like I was really confident, but I never felt that the business was not there. It was more me personally to get through all that hard time. It took a long time.
What did you do then in terms of to be able to, because I imagine that there were days that were worse than others, but in that situation, what was your go-to, or those things that you had to be able to go, okay, I need to tank? Because obviously you weren't doing retail therapy. That's not an option, right? So you can't go out and I'm just going to go and buy a new outfit or what have you, or go to the hairdresser, and there's a lot of those things that typically people would do to make themselves feel better in the short term. How were you getting through that?
My motorbike. And skiing and nature. So riding my motorbike with my helmet on, and no one can talk to me, my phone can't ring because I'm such a busy person. And the corners, the riding, that feeling, and skiing has that same, the corners, the flow, it's the most peaceful, amazing thing. I mean, we live in paradise. So if we feel bad, you just look out the window. I mean, really, we just live in this nurturing, amazing place. So I think, walking, just the mountains, it's medicine. There is so much medicine here.
Can you meditate? Are you a meditator?
I'm not a meditator, but I think riding the motorbike, and probably a little bit fast, is meditation. It is my meditation. I wish I could meditate, but I have a busy mind.
I'm exactly the same. I need a lot of things going on to be able to stop the monkey mind. Basically. So to sit still and to assume that this is going to work, that doesn't work for me. I need to be out on a motorbike or doing something, or on a snowboard, or doing something where I can't think about anything else, because it's all about just what's coming next.
The movement.
And
movement, exactly. And that's my relaxation. Concentrating on that flow.
When did motorcycling start for you? How old were you when you first got into it?
We had a farm bike.
Okay, yes.
But I brought a Harley in about 2010. Which I still have, but I've kept it because it's my first nice bike, and now I ride an Indian. And I just absolutely love it. But I ride motorbikes and rode all my life, really. But
and the sort of bike, has that changed in terms of the shape and what have you, the style?
I am not a bike snob. I like all bikes, and I'd like to have 10 of every flavour.
Right.
So I would like more. Road bikes, off-road bikes. Planning a trip at the moment in Vietnam, which will be on-road, off-road. I'm very excited to be doing that. really exciting. Yeah.
Have you got a bike for that, or will you need a different bike, or you get a bike? Use a
We
bike
hire
over
a bike over
right.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise, that would be like one of those Trans-Africa kind of TT kind of enduro kind of bikes, is it?
Yeah, it'll be an adventurer type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bike will be what it will be. Yeah.
So you say you love clients who let you loose. What does that look like? What's when you're taking a brief, then in that sort of situation, what's the ideal brief that you're going to get that you know, okay, we're going to have so much fun on this project?
When a client gives you trust, that is absolutely when the magic happens. But it's not about what I want to do, it's about me listening to them and finding out what their passions are, how they live, and what their dream is, and then me making it way beyond their dreams. That's what is the magic for me in the job. It's not about some carpet and curtains and tiles and a nice kitchen. It's about the lighting, it's about the art, it's about the finishing, the cushions, it's lamps. When we get to do those bits and help with the art's a very personable thing. They might have a piece of art that I'll look at and I'll go, wow, I can just pull out this whole design from this. Or they might have a dress or a hat or just something that they love. It can be so many things, and it's finding, the colours, how they feel. Colour psychology is a massive thing in what we do. Colours definitely give you feelings and emotions 100%. So making the rooms suit what they're designed for. A movie room, it shouldn't be white, it should be dark, it should be cosy, maybe it has texture and wallpaper, but it shouldn't also have a whole lot of things in it because it's for movies. Bathrooms, do you want it to be spa-like and light and bright, or do you want it to be dark and moody? Do you have baths at night? Do you have them in the morning? There's so many things and questions. The questions of we're doing a full house for somebody could be 5 pages long. It's getting the information and then giving them something super special, and the magic is when a client is just so happy and they love it. That's what we want. That's the whole reward for the job. Yeah.
And how involved are they typically in that process? When you say, if you're talking about, let's say, talk about a new build. So from when you take that first meeting to the point where they're moving in, how many face-to-face meetings are there, or assuming they're national or locally based, or even if they're not?
It depends on how much they want to be involved. A lot of people have not a lot of idea of what they want or how to do it. So what I do like to involve them through it and make sure that they're liking the path that we're on. So the second and third meetings are really important, where we actually start showing them textures and fabrics and products and things like that. Again, it's that finishing. So all of that is the basis, the bottom part, and then it's the cushions and the art and the lights and the lighting and the lamps that actually finish the project. It's the little tiny bits of colour. So if it's a black and white room, it might be that rusty lamp in the corner, I don't know, but it might be that one little tiny bit. If we look at colour from nature, if you look at a pansy, this is a really good example, a purple and yellow pansy that has the perfect little bit of black in the middle and the little dot of white, and the green is just the right colour, and the percentages of colour on the stem, things like that. Colour in nature is, if you designed a room from a flower, you'll probably hit it.
Is that one of your main sources of inspiration then, nature and flowers?
Colour from nature, especially where we live, we have so much reds and burgundies and golds and coppers, and we have all these beautiful colours I love autumn colours, so obviously live in the right place, and I love that in design. I think those colours, they suit here. It doesn't have to have all those colours, but we have so many colours in nature here. We're super lucky. super lucky.
What's how has your own aesthetic changed over the years, or has it changed, or has it remained relatively consistent, or do you notice there are trends where you'll have a sort of a phase or a period? Was there maybe you had a grey phase as well, or,
No.
or is this something, things that go, hey, look, so I understand this is coming back, but not for me? Or
I never had a grey phase, thank goodness. I have, definitely it has changed. I prefer natural products. I like using natural products. After being in Europe and seeing all the old marbles and the worn marbles and the stories that they tell and the steps that are worn out from lots of people's feet, and I love that. I love products that change with time. Beautiful handles that where people are grabbing them, nice, natural metals, natural stone, natural wool carpet. Yeah, I love natural product, but I also still I have a little bit of bling in my life as well. So it's just having those little pieces and having them in the right places. I've got more confident using colour. So yeah, we're always changing and developing, always, yeah.
Is there a project that you've done that you're most proud of, looking back, that you can say, yeah, oh, holy shit, we really nailed that, and even now, even if it's like 8 years later, 15 years later, or what have you, yeah, it still holds up, or there are some things that you might maybe change slightly, but generally, no, 100%.
There's probably 3 or 4. We've just done a job a year ago that was, they wanted to have a Mediterranean feel, a Moroccan feel, which I loved doing because we got to use all these beautiful rich colours. I absolutely love that. I love when people are happy to use colour. I did a job in Glenorchy for one of our clients that we've done 5 or 6 houses for. It was a place that looked a lot more like what's the lodge down there? I should know.
I'm not sure.
The big lodge. Anyway, it's all beautiful natural stone. It was, and we did a beautiful green kitchen, and lots of timber, and I loved it. I loved that house, and yeah, makes you feel nice. I think natural products have that beautiful warm feel. It's like your horse float here with the lovely raw sawn timber in it. It feels comfortable and you feel good in it.
Yeah, so sort of quality natural materials, they are pretty timeless, right? In terms of
they're my favourite style jobs. Yeah.
So you call yourself a visual person who's terrible at paperwork. How do you manage, or how do you balance in those conflicts of running a business, which does involve a lot of admin and paperwork, with the creative elements of being a designer? How do you manage those two? It's
been really, really difficult because the business I ran on my own for a very long time, but as it's grown, I now have a Kate and a Sharon and a Ruby and a Jason, which is amazing. And I think delegating the work that you're not good at to someone else is a really smart move. It gets done in a better way and quicker, and you're doing what you like and they're doing what they like. So I think I like also having a little bit of hands-on on everything. I like knowing how to do everything, and you've got to know every part of your business. So I do that as well, but having people working with you that can take those things away is amazing. I love that.
Tell me about Jason. How did he come into the business, and how has that changed then since you guys got together?
Well, Jason and I met at a car show. We collect old cars as well, so it's another thing we do. But he is an engineer, so he's really, really amazing, precise and loves doing things with his hands. He's incredibly clever with builds motors for race motors and things like that. So he's Jason is everything. He does everything. And he lived in Invercargill when I met him, and eventually moved up here, and we wanted to be together, and we thought, well, let's have a go and see if we can work together. And he's become a huge part of the business as well, and he's built amazing things and jobs we've done that we would never have done. We've had a client that wanted this amazing range hood above their barbecue, and it had to be all done in steel, and Jason's like, yeah, we can do that. And so the business has grown in different ways with Jason being part of it, and he handles all motorisation with tracks and things like that as well. And yeah, we do so many different things, and he's got skills that I don't. He's really good at, he's more forward and manager-like, whereas I like being, just in the background in the team. But yeah, it's good. We work really well together, which is great, because it's growing a whole new effort. We're doing a lot more work where we're doing renovations, and he's project managing all the plumbers and electricians and things like that. So we've got more control of what we're doing now, and making sure the whole job's really good. So we've got great partners. So that's been something, a way that it's changed, and in a really good way. Yeah.
And what about the classic cars then? Because I know that's something people are pretty passionate about. So was there any conflict there in terms of like Ford versus Holden, or any sort of fundamental differences there that you we need to be careful here, might need to avoid this as a topic?
Well, it's quite funny, because I think we're kind of perfect for each other, because we both like everything, and we're not one camp or the other in anything, which is so wonderful. But we're so bad for each other, because we need a 10-car shed now, right? And that's not big enough. We're both passionate about cars and motorbikes, and it's just so wonderful to meet someone that is like me, and I'm like him, and it's good.
And you've got your daughter Ruby is now joining the business, so to start from having her in your pram when you're out handing out the business cards, I mean, she has literally been with you and in the business since day one, basically, or day dot in that case.
That's
that
right.
Must be pretty special for you to have her coming in now into the business.
It's amazing, and I think that comes back again to me looking up to my uncle with the Hubber's Furnishings and the family business, and his business was, the family were all part of that, and I always wanted a family business. I love it. And so there's Jason and I, and there's Ruby. Stella's about to go to university next year. I would love her to be part of it too, but she needs to follow her own dreams, and they always have to work for someone else first, because you don't want them to be treating you like mum at work. So it's been wonderful, and Ruby's just absolutely fallen into it. She's doing so well, and she's been doing her diploma in kitchen design. She's come so far. She's been with us 5 years now, which is incredible. Yeah, really, I love it. Love having her there. We've got such a good team, and our team is like a family. Kate and Sharon, I consider them, we're all part of it. We're like a family. Yeah.
I noticed that. I mean, your other staff, or your non-blood related staff, have also been with you for a long time, which is also, I think, a really strong endorsement of you as an employer and as a person. How does that responsibility sit with you in terms of having staff like that are obviously, okay, Carmen, we're on board, we're with you. How does that sit with you?
I absolutely love it, and I think if we go back to that recession where I had 2 staff I had to let go when that happened, and I left it way too late, because I felt so responsible for them, and it tore me to pieces, and it was the worst day ever to let them go, and I still feel terrible about it, but I absolutely did everything I could to help them and make sure that they got into other employment, and I still feel that now. That would if that happened to me, I'd just they're part of my family 100%. it's a responsibility, but it makes you work hard and do well as well, so it's okay.
And is there something that you say that I think this might be part of the reason why people like working with me and like either as clients or as staff? Is it the balance that you've managed to bring? Is it your fairness? Is it your consistency and your honesty? What is the secret sauce that you think, I think this might be something that not everybody has to
Yeah,
offer?
I really do. I care about people. I 100% care about people, and I really care about being fair, but I don't know if people know that or not, and I don't know how you portray it. But the staff, I totally care about them. We make sure we have this amazing Christmas party. We have an amazing Christmas party. It's ridiculous, but we always do, because I want to give back all the time as well, because I'm lucky enough to have found people that have the same ethics as I do. So I feel like we've got this great team. They're all really great people, and you've got to just be fair in everything. And I'm fair to them and they're fair to me.
How much or how tightly is that related to the size of your business? Is there something where you say, okay, if we were to scale up, for example, if we were to get bigger, I know I could maintain the vibe that we've got currently up to so and so many people, or after that it just wouldn't work? Or is
that does scare me, growing. I kind of want to keep it small, because that's what I love. I love that small team and the relationships that we have. We kind of need to grow at the moment because we're so busy, which is wonderful. And finding the right people to do that is very, very important to me, that it's the right people that fit. Very important. But it's trying to create a culture, an environment that people want to work in and that can work in. So we work hard and we play hard, and sometimes we just take time out when we need to. And I think recognising that in people that are working for you, that they need time out or things are getting too much, but recognising that and allowing them, I think that's something that I think I do, which is good.
Picking the right people is also like so important. Have you found something that you've said, hey, this works really well, or if I find, if I see this trait in a person, that's an automatic no, or what are the things that you've found have worked well when hiring?
Funnily enough, Sharon, that has worked with me for over 10 years now, she picked Kate, who's works with us, and thank goodness, because Kate's wonderful. And judging, I don't know if I'm a great judge of character. I don't know if I am. Maybe I'm getting better, I don't know. But we just have the best team. I don't know about that one, sorry.
Well, maybe a bit of luck, luck's involved.
Maybe it is luck, but it's worked out well. I'm nervous for the next one. We have just got a new girl just started as well last week, Leonie. She's wonderful. She's turning out to be. I think she'll fit in really well. So you can only wait and see, really, and I hope they enjoy the culture and become part of the culture. That's what you want.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it, and to understand that role as an employer, which not everybody does, in terms of that's part of your responsibility, is to offer an environment in which that person hopefully feels free to express themselves and to fulfil their potential and enjoy coming to work and all the other things that which not a lot of employers actually, I think.
Well, you want people to be happy. You want people to be happy, and I have been in a business which was a larger business, and there is a saying that says the rotten apple can ruin the bunch, and absolutely it can, a big time. So if you have a rotten apple, it needs to go as fast as it can. It's or change, because it affects everybody.
I think one of my favourite quotes of all time was about, I can't remember who it was. is about management's about getting the right people on the bus, the
Yeah.
wrong people off the bus,
Yeah.
and then the right people into the right seats on
Yeah.
the bus. And I thought, wow, it's like, because there's
complicated.
several steps there, basically. It's not just about, hey, get the right people on the bus and then everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
If they're in the wrong seats, or
Yeah.
you've got some people on the bus that are actually the wrong people, then it's not going to go well.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Finding the seat that they fit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and that they know, that they also see, yeah, okay, I wouldn't have picked this one seat for myself, but you're right, actually, this does suit me pretty well on my skills. Or
Yeah.
what role does music play then in work and life? Is this something that you listen to different music when you're working? Is working a space where you don't like music, you don't like having music? Is it purely a relaxation, free time thing?
Well, I love music, and I'm very, very diverse with my music. I love seeing live music. It's a passion. If I, can go to a live band, I'm going. I absolutely love it. We have music in the background at work. I try and keep it a little bit softer. And I'm usually so busy I don't even hear the music anyway, but everyone else likes to have music in the background, and we do change it up quite a bit. We all like rock. I don't know if that's something about our team, but the whole team do like rock. But we listen to blues, and we listen to jazz and pop and all sorts of music. I mean, I like Willie Nelson, I like country too, so huge variety of music. But yeah, it is a something I love to do, is to go and see live music.
What about on your bike? Is that something you prefer, no music then in that situation? Or is that music as well, and depending on the mood? Or is it, no, if I'm on this bike then it's rock, if I'm on that bike it's always country? Or...
I have no music on my motorbike, and that's my, like I say, my meditation. If I have music, I would have a speeding ticket every time. I could not do it because I probably would listen to rock and I'd go too fast and I'd probably die. So I have the motorbike is my meditation, and definitely silence, and that's when I think and relax. Yeah.
Coming back to the time around your divorce and the recession and basically being so close to the edge there, was that, looking back now, is that something you say, okay, this was a new version of me that emerged, or was it a person that had always been there and I was reminded of who I was, or was this actually, no, this was an entirely new person that you were unaware of, some of those strengths and things that you then were able to pull out from that period?
No, I think I've always been determined and honourable, and I think that's kind of what that just, I got to use it. Yeah, I think I've always was, as young, always into sport, very competitive, determined, and I think that just has been all the way through my life, really. Competitiveness, and I don't play a competitive sport now, but I probably should, because I like it, I enjoy it, but the same, the business is what's worked for me there, is succeeding and making it better, and all the time trying to be better.
Is you see that as a competitive side of things? Are you then competing against yourself, or competing against the industry standards or averages, or what do you? How does that?
Competing against myself. I want to create things that are different and better. I want to make new things. So I've been designing, which is a new thing that I want to do one-off new things. I think the markets, all these lovely little boutique shops have all closed, and everything's becoming chain stores and mass produced, and I hate it. So I want to create different things, and people want different things now too. We've been going through all these phases of IKEA and flat pack, and it's all the same, and I don't like that. sort of thing at all. It's got its place, absolutely. Cheap wardrobe inside, something like that. But I think a lot more people are op shopping and looking for those neat old things, one-off things that are not around so much anymore. So I've designed some quite cool furniture, and which I'm really proud of, and I'd definitely like to spend more time doing that. It is something I've always wanted to do, but time and money have always been something that's held me back, and I feel like I've got this lovely new place now, and I've got space, and I can actually start making things and putting them out there, which is really exciting. So it's a really, really exciting new phase, which is all part of this wonderful new place where we are. Yeah.
How are you going to decide what to design then? Where does that come from, the ideas? So is it going to be furniture, or it might be all sorts of things, and then if it is going to be furniture, then is it chairs, or is it tables, or is it like...
Well, I have been designing bars, cocktail cabinets, and I love designing them, useful things, and things that have places for things in those designs. So not just a cabinet that has the drawers for the utensils, and just nice little places for instruments and things to go, and that are decorative and that are functional but look really cool. So I've been enjoying, I've done a couple, and the clients that have got those have been lucky, because I feel like they've got a great deal and they've got something super cool and they're proud of, which is again the end result that we want. Jason, now we've got this great space, and he loves working with metal, and maybe I can get him making cool things in metal as well, and timber and different finishes. So yeah, very exciting.
So it's
I don't know if I've told him that, but he'll hear about it, I'm sure.
Well, if he listens to this, and you'll know whether or not he's listened to the episode.
He'll love it.
Back. Yeah. That's awesome to be able to go then to almost like both directions, from the sort of vertical integration, and from doing that was more of a sort of consultancy specifying kind of role, then into actually design and then manufacture.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and to be able to do that for those sort of one-offs and small projects, and because a lot is about the new, right? A lot of your clients will want something that, and one of the reasons I want it is that somebody else doesn't have it.
That's just it. A lot of clients don't want to go to their friend's house and see the same cabinet and the same couch, and we don't want to do that. That's really important, that every job we work on is different and has something completely different and special, and that's where cushions are wonderful. There's all these amazing fabrics and you only need a little bit to make a cushion, and it can be so incredible impact. It's just little things like that.
But I realise I'm a little bit of a cushion guy, but based on some of the comments I've had from people, I realise, I think maybe cushions are a little bit like pineapple on pizza, that it's like for some people this is a really, oh my god, how embarrassing, you've got cushions kind of thing, that basically a sofa or a chair should just be there naked in its pureness of form. And there are others that are quite happy to have a cushion, particularly when it comes to getting comfortable and things like that.
Well, see, so that's minimalism and maximalism, and I'm in the middle, but I'm definitely for comfort, and having the right cushion and a feather inner. You sit on a couch like that, you're going to sit there a lot longer than you are on a hard one without one. Makes
a huge difference. Right? So your new showroom here. So a long time coming, and a long time between drinks in terms of looking back to the last time you had what was really your own space. What does that feel like now to have that flexibility, to have the ability to put in everything, all the samples, everything you've got, also new projects and bits and pieces you've got coming up? How does that feel?
Every morning I walk in there, I smile. It is just incredible. I love it. It's just a beautiful space, and it's a beautiful space people can come in and they can look at everything, and I know where everything is because it's all set out so nicely, and I've got spaces for everything. It's just such a beautiful space. I just love it. It feels so good. Yeah, I feel calm and very happy.
Do you have any clients where you think maybe that might be a bit of a challenge, or you're going to need some big curtains to be able to hide things so that all they see is what you've carefully curated for them, rather than having them run amok and, oh my God, look at this, and pull out all these things that they perhaps might like, but you'd think, oh, that's really not going to work together?
That never happens, and anyone that does do that, they've actually confident in themselves in colour and things like that, and those people I don't mind. There's so many. I just want people to come and go through all the samples because there's so many beautiful samples. We just have this. I have a habit of buying a lot of samples because I love fabric so much, and I actually have a storage shed that is full of old samples that have been deleted, that I thought when I was old I could be an old lady and make cushions and sell them, which is quite funny. Yeah. But by then I probably will be arthritic and I won't be able to sew them. But I have the most amazing fabrics all stored, and I have slowly started making some of them into cushions, but they're not just any fabrics. I've only kept all the beautiful ones, and I have so many, and it's one day someone will go through those and they'll just be blown away, which will be really cool.
Well, what makes a beautiful fabric for you then? What is it that you say, okay, I know this is worth keeping, this is worth hanging on to?
Just colours, having the correct balance of colour, and texture and feel. Like a cushion shouldn't be hard or rough. It should be soft and beautiful. We have cushions that are just decorative, but I prefer them when they're functional. But yeah, patterns is a big thing. There aren't a lot of patterns around that I love.
Visual or textural?
Visual.
Or both? Yeah, okay. Yes.
So I'm quite fussy on that. So I have a lot of really expensive designer patterns that were just a sample. So there's only enough there to make a cushion. So it's really, really special. And it might have been $800 a metre, the fabric, and it's, we can turn this into, this gorgeous cushion, but and cheaply because it was a sample, right?
So what's coming up then? The next, looking at the next 5-10 years, what's the next thing that you've got on the horizon that you know is really going to take you to the edges of your capability and capacity and competence?
Well, I think the technology is a huge thing, and I don't think anyone really knows where it's going, good and bad. I think the world is in a very uneasy place. A lot of people are uneasy. Are they going to have a job? Is a robot going to be doing their job? It's changing and developing so quickly. So I'm always looking at other options and other ways to how the business can develop and change to keep up. And we're always looking at that all the time. We're looking at where people can, put on the goggles and they can look at their room with how we're going to design it. Those things are out there. They're not quite right yet, but that's only a matter of time. And we'll draw the room, and you'll put your goggles on, and you'll see exactly. You'll walk around your room before it's even built, which is incredible. So technology and change is huge, and we've got to be looking forward all the time. But I really would like to be designing more, and that's something I would really love to be able to do. I like dealing with every level in the business as well. I like being able to help people that might not think that they've got the budget for us. We work with every level, and I really love that, and I want to keep letting those people know that we still work in all levels, and because I enjoy it, and you have to work in every level because you never know what's going to happen. You've got to be stay there and be humble and work with everybody and sometimes the biggest challenge is the smallest budget, and that's actually quite often can be more fun. Like, wow, we did that for that much. That's so amazing. So it's
not a lot of people do that. Like, a lot of people would say, hey, no, this is our niche, and we're not interested in doing renovations, for example. We only want to do new builds because we know that the budget's automatically going to be at a thing where we can earn a lot of money from this project. So,
yeah, a lot of people do that, and I actually love a renovation. It's much harder. It's a lot more work, but I love a renovation because you see what it was before and how it changes into this, amazing new environment. And I find them a real challenge, and I love it. And I love working again with every level. And I mean, I could probably just stay in the niche market, but again, it's because I like doing lots of different things. I like dealing with all different people as well. That's part of what I love, is the people is a big part of it.
And do you find it, because I know I find it much easier to work with something that I can see. So for example, the concept of building a home just sounds so complex to me. Renovating a home, no problem. If I can see a building and I know exactly, okay, what I would change or how I would improve that. But if I had to start from scratch with completely blank canvas, that I would be massively challenged there. So how do you find, do you have a preference for an existing renovation that you can see a space and know exactly what it needs to be, or do you find it just as easy to work virtually from a plan and some mood boards and this is what the room is gonna look like, but you can't actually be physically in that space for a few months yet?
Yeah, I think that's what I have to be able to do, doing the job that we do. Ruby is wonderful. She does all our 3D and our renders, and she can actually draw a room and show a client exactly how it's going to look, the space, everything to scale, which is, again, that's that technology. You can actually see what that room is going to look like before it's built, which is amazing. And we didn't. That is one part of the business that has changed hugely in the last 5 years. It's only in the last 5 years we've been offering that to clients, and it's a lot. It is a lot of work, and but it seals the deal. People see it and they go, "Oh wow, that looks amazing! Yeah, that's what we want," which is it's great. It's great. I had someone in the same industry. They said they had a new program for kitchens, and they were worried that the program looked so good that some of the images looked better than the kitchens when they were built. And I'm like, wow, this is because the program is showing all this lighting and things that aren't actually in the home. So that's something with our program, which is better. We can put the correct lighting, and we can put the sun where it's meant to be, and so it's a lot more work, and it is realistic. So it's good.
That makes a massive change.
It makes a massive change, yeah.
So I had a few opinions as an 18-year-old that I probably don't hold true to anymore, and a few that I do. Looking back for you, because when you left Invercargill at that age, where you've got to now, what things have dropped away, or things that you believed back then that you don't believe now, or are things pretty consistent?
I think things are fairly consistent for me. I don't believe that there's much that's changed, which is, I'm learning, but how I think, I don't believe it has actually changed a lot. How I live my life and how I think, I probably haven't grown up much.
It's a good thing,
which I like. I'm quite happy with that. I'm social. I like being out and about, but my time out is the skiing, the motorbike, those sort of things. I love my family, and I have a partner who's got a wonderful family, and they're all really close, and I love that. That's all, that sort of thing means a lot to me. Yeah.
Is there any sort of advice that you'd want to give back to 18-year-old Carmen then in Invercargill at that point where, you know, you're struggling a little bit with school and that town perhaps, and what you've gone on to do? Is there anything you'd look back and say, hey, you know, be careful at this point, or maybe don't do that thing, or it's just like, no, you go for it, girl, just it's all worked out okay, and make those same mistakes again, or do exactly the same?
The first thing that came into mind was don't get married and go to Europe on your OE. But anyway, we'll move on. 18-year-old, I wish I'd gone overseas earlier. That's probably my only thing, that my regret. I really wish I travelled.
Why earlier? What was?
I was going to go travelling, and then I, met a boyfriend and went to Christchurch, and I wish I've travelled. I wish I had that experience when I was young. I went to Australia and Fiji and things like that, but I wish I'd gone on the European travel. I think it's good for young people to do that, to experience the world and see, different cultures and that sort of thing.
So that we can realise just how amazing it is here, and come back here and appreciate it a bit more.
Well, that's right, and it is, and that's 100% what it is. But I just getting out and about and trying different things. Doing different jobs and giving yourself the chance to don't get stuck into something unless that's your passion. I feel like I did fall into this business a wee bit, and I think, how lucky, because it is my passion, it is what I love. But I think a lot of people get a job and they stay in a job that they're not really that happy with, and I think, if you're not, just keep trying different things, because doing something you love is, I feel, really lucky, and it's a really important thing.